He's still dead. No one gives a damn.
No, people give a damn.
What they care about, look at the American economy right now. The average person at the kitchen table is not worrying about Epstein. Don't give a damn. They want to provide for their family, and they are. America's working.
I am not at all in Trump's base. However, I care deeply about it because I'm not going to buy this argument that like these young girls were raped by what? By what? Did they rape themselves? No, they got raped by people who are in powerful positions. And I want to know how many of those individuals are currently serving in our government.
So that was Kevin O'Leary with a great response from, obviously, my colleague from here at TYT, Anna Kasparian, who pointed out that, yeah, no, obviously people care about the economy, as Kevin O'Leary wanted to go on. Obviously, we're not discounting that, but this is a very serious thing, both in general terms, but also especially for MAGA. It's the point we've been making. I think Anna did a great job of pointing it out there. The host, Abby Phillips, she pointed to a poll showing that 83% of Republicans believe that all government information on Epstein should be released. So Kevin O'Leary can scream into the camera as much as he wants that nobody cares about this. 83% of Republicans care about this. And so like you could try, and maybe Kevin O'Leary cares more about just the economy or whatever. He's a rich guy. I'm sure he thinks constantly about money or whatever, but you don't get to tell the American people what their values should be and how they should pursue them. Sharon, what do you think?
You don't get to tell us what we care about. You know, Mr. Wonderful, as he's self-proclaimed, that's the name he's given himself. Maybe he doesn't care. I think he does. He accepted the invitation to go on. Anna's right. We care because this is a creepy, nasty, dirty, scummy subject. And it has relevancy at the highest levels of our government. What O'Leary wants us to do is, be like your partner comes home at 2 a.m., hasn't said where they're going. And when you say, hey, where have you been? It's like, nobody cares about that. I care, and I want to know where you've been, okay? Yeah. Because I need to know who I'm living with here. And that's the point. That's the point.
I want to read just a little bit more from their interaction. So he says, the average American awake for 18 hours a day, how many minutes do you think they spend worrying about this stuff? How many minutes? Okay, pause, we'll go back to the graphic. Kevin O'Leary, how many minutes do they have to think about it for it to be a thing the government should stop actively covering up? They're not saying, hey, this tangential concern that Donald Trump and the Republicans never talked about and that doesn't demand action? No, I'd like you to start doing something. That's not what they're doing. They're saying you have the documents. They're sitting there on Pam Bondi's desk. Give them to us. Stop blocking the release. We're not being weird. Donald Trump and his administration are being weird, following, as we found out a few days ago, like 1,000 FBI agents combing through all the files for any reference to Donald Trump. And then after that happened, suddenly you don't get to find out what's in them. No, Kevin O'Leary. We're not the weirdos. We're not the suspicious ones in this. Donald Trump and the cover-up are something that you seem kind of tied in with at this point because you're fighting really hard to protect the identity of the people in these files. Anyway, he then goes on to say, maybe they were raped, maybe they weren't.
Oh my God.
What the hell? Like that's getting glossed over with all the other stuff he said. Maybe they weren't. No, they were. Okay, we can debate if it was Bill Gates or Bill Clinton or Donald Trump or whoever. There's no debate that sexual assault was happening, you creepy weirdo. He says nobody gives a poop. Nobody gives a poop. This is a serious person. He should be on TV giving his 2 cents, I think. Isn't it amazing? You don't have to know a damn thing. You don't have to be a good person. You just have to have money, man. And they'll throw you on TV and subject all of us to your weirdo theories. Sharon, final thoughts?
What a piglet thing to say. Girls, he's a pig.
Yeah.
Now, that's part of his image and it's funny, Shark Tank, this whole, what a pig. Women were raped here. And guess what? I agree with him on one point. If you put it in a context, in his bubble, I don't think they do care. Maybe they were raped, maybe they weren't. I don't think people who say something like that, and there's a lot of people in that supposed ring, if we could ever get the files, who don't care. They don't care about these throwaway young girls. What a piglet thing to say. And you're right, it's lost.
It's so amazing. Like MAGA is shouting, we think the wealthy are covering this up So they bring a guy whose net worth is $400 million on to be like, everybody stop paying attention to this. You get, Kevin O'Leary, that seems to confirm the conspiracy theories. Maybe just shut up about this and let other people deal with the concern. If you're not interested in it, and that's as far as your involvement goes, then just shut up about it. That's always an option.